Casey.
And I'm Corey.
And we are the Wright Brothers. I'd like to welcome you to this edition of Tech Corner.
And in this edition, we are going to be taking a look at ways that you can start to introduce new technologies into your life and figure out which ones are right for you. You know, so often we start to introduce new technologies into our life, and they're supposed to make our lives so much easier and make us so much more efficient, yet they oftentimes have the exact opposite effect. They make our lives more cluttered, they make us more frustrated. And so we want to pose 3 questions for you to ask yourself anytime you're thinking of introducing a new technology into your life, whether it's a new software or a new hardware or a new cell phone, that you can ask yourself to make sure that technology is right for you so that they can start to make your life easier and more efficient rather than more cluttered and more frustrated.
Excellent. Well, we've got some great tips, so let's get right into it.
Alright, so anytime you're thinking of introducing a new technology into your life, you want to ask yourself 3 questions before you introduce that new technology. The first one is, have the kinks been worked out?
Absolutely. You know, this is one of those really important things about technology. Technology manufacturers are famous for releasing products, new technologies, before they're fully mature. And in general, if you wait for the 2nd or 3rd generation of that product, it's going to be better supported, it's going to be more seamless, and in general, it's going to be less expensive. So I would encourage you, don't jump on the bandwagon right away. If a new technology comes out, just sit back for a while and say, I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to see what the next generation looks like, because in general, it's always going to be better.
And the great thing about the technology industry is it moves so fast that it's oftentimes only 3 to 6 months before you're seeing the 2nd and 3rd generations already released that are ready to market and the top of the line of product.
Absolutely.
The second question you always want to ask yourself is, am I sure I don't already have something that does this?
Yeah, this is just a reality of today's technology environment. You know, so many of the technological devices out there, particularly the mobile ones, can do so many things. So it's very rare today that you just get a cell phone. Your cell phone is also going to be able to take pictures, to listen to media, to hold your appointments. And so what happens is, the result of this is then you have a GPS device that can do the same thing, or you might have a PDA that can do the same stuff. And you get all these overlapping technologies, and when it's all said and done, you might be listening to music or watching videos in 3 or 4 different places. You're going to have taking photographs with your camera, with your PDA, with your digital camera, with your digital camcorder, and it gets so confusing, it gets so messy. And so I think before you get any new technology, before you bring any new technology into your life, you should really ask the question, do I have something that already does this? And a lot of times if you just answer that question, it's going to eliminate a lot of technologies.
Absolutely. And the last question, perhaps the most important, is, am I willing to take the time to learn it?
Yeah, I think this is absolutely the most important. You know, there's so many people out there who say, I'm going to invest, the $1,000 in a great new computer, the $500 in a really interesting glitzy PDA or cell phone, and then they won't invest the day or 2 that it takes to really learn that technology so you can use it effectively. And I think you really need to do that. You know, we have a policy at our company that anytime we bring a new piece of technology into our life, so a computer, a PDA, a mobile phone, something that is really going to be a big part of our lives for the next year or 2, we take a day off of work so we can learn that device. And I know that might seem a little impractical, to take a full day off of work to play around with your cell phone, but the truth of the matter is, if you don't take that day up front, you'll be taking that day over the next several weeks and months trying to figure out how the features work and trying to navigate your menus and on the phone with support people. So instead of taking that time when you don't have it, 2 weeks or a month from now, take it all up front. Spend a day to really learn that technology and to really work it into your life so you're getting a full functionality right from the get-go.
Absolutely. I think it's important to note, ask yourself the same questions anytime you're thinking of doing new programs or new software on your computer as well. So if you want to get into a new social network, make sure you're willing to take the time to learn that social network as well. Make sure you don't already have something that does it. So whenever you're trying to introduce a new technology into your life or thinking of introducing a new technology into your life, ask yourself those 3 questions. Have the kinks been worked out? Am I sure I don't already have something that does this? And am I willing to take the time to learn it? You'll find that the technologies that come into your life will be far fewer in number, but far greater in their affecting your life.
Absolutely. Well, now it's time for my favorite part of the podcast, the Wright Brothers shameless plug, the part where we ask not what this podcast can do for you, but rather what you can do for the podcast. So we're going to do something kind of fun here. I also think it's going to be pretty simple. What we'd like you to do is to take some time in our comments section to tell us what piece of new technology you are looking the most forward to right now, what you're most excited about that's on the horizon.
Well, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this edition of Tech Corner, and we will catch you next time.